Well, what's good? We back. This is your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with the boxing clinic and more. Gonna switch gears. Drop a football video and dropping a basketball video. And basketball is actually around the corner, believe it or not. I think the NBA kicks off October 17th with the Boston Celtics traveling to Cleveland, I believe. Kyrie and LeBron reunion. That's a little fishy to me that was already made, but it was one of the hottest, little rivalries, little semi-rivalries down a stretch of the regular season. But ESPN apparently ticked off Carmelo Anthony, and I feel his pain. And they ranked Carmelo Anthony as the 64th best player in the NBA. And I think that's a direct slap and, a guesstimation where he should rank, in my opinion. I can't give you one, but 64 is definitely too low. They got guys like Avery Bradley ready to hit at him and Lonzo Ball, which is a direct slap to Carmelo's face. And I think it really is. And the fact that you put Lonzo Ball up there and he hasn't even took a dribble or a shot in the NBA game, not even a preseason game. And they basing it off of training camp and potential. No way Lonzo Ball or Avery Bradley are better than Carmelo Anthony. And I'm hoping that Carmelo Anthony gets out that situation in New York. I think that was one of the worst turns for his career. But at the end of the day, he wore his welcome out in Denver. He was ready to leave Denver. He was also jealous that Chauncey Billups was starting to get some notoriety and get credit for the Denver Nuggets finally turning it around when they made it to the Western Conference Finals versus the Los Angeles Lakers. And reports came that, he was jealous, and I can, he's a selfish player, man. Let's just say it, like very selfish, and I get that. And I think ESPN knows that. He's very selfish. He has no ability to make anybody around him better. But strictly from a talent standpoint, still, I don't believe him to be the 64th best player in the NBA, in my opinion. And, I think it's a slap in the face, and this is him. Can't make sense of the nonsense. A certain darkness is needed to see the stars at ESPN. Don't be so blatant with the disrespect. Line them up. And he's been working hard this summer, and he was working hard last summer. You see what happened. He's just in a situation where, he's not going to thrive in New York. He was in a situation in Denver where he thrived in, and he was jealous, and from what I'm hearing, he was very selfish. When it came to Chauncey Billups getting the credit, you gotta know Chauncey Billups from Denver. He was one of the biggest high school. He was probably the biggest high school player in Denver. He was like the LeBron James of Denver in high school. Then was the number 3 pick after going to college. So he's loved in that area. And he was in a winning situation. And then then he didn't want to do what it took to win. So that's why I was skeptical about him. Going to Houston. Or potentially going to Portland, or potentially going to Boston, and I think that's why a lot of teams didn't want to take a chance to give up too much for him, because he doesn't fit. If the ball in his hands, and he's not dribbling the ball and making something happen, he does nothing else. He has the ability to make people better. He has the ability to rebound the ball. He has the ability to post up, to be a stretch forward. He has the ability to play defense, but he doesn't want to do it. It may be because he's in a losing situation, but nobody wants to take a chance on a guy that hasn't shown the ability to do anything possible to win, no matter how desperate he is. And you get this guy, and he continues to half-ass play, then what? You stuck with him, and that's part of the reason why he's 64. It's no just slap in the face out of nowhere just to be disrespectful for Carmelo because he's a bad guy to the media, or he's a bad guy to this earth, or to the United States. It's not that. It's a simple fact that he doesn't make anybody better. He doesn't do anything but score, and you make the offense stagnant. Dribble, jab, step, stuff of that nature. He needs to expand his game. He's working on scoring. He needs to be working on breaking down film and making other players better. And that's one of the reasons why he's plummeted. The injuries and being in a toxic environment in New York. Getting into it with Tim Hardaway a couple years ago, and said he wants to be the guy, but he has no leadership qualities, and he needs to understand that. And he doesn't change his game. That's the difference between him and LeBron James. LeBron James' game is predicated on, being a well-rounded player. He just ain't the best scorer. He's one of the best assist guy, good rebounder. He's sometimes a willing defender when he needs to be. Carmelo, none of that shit, man. He's just a scorer, and that's why he's 64. It's a reason why they got him ranked that low. I don't agree with it, but strictly from a talent standpoint, but his situation and what he's bringing to the table, what he showed last year, that might be a good ranking for him, man. But I just didn't see Lonzo Ball and Avery Bradley being over him. You know what I'm saying? I think that's this very disrespectful. But when will this guy change? And he hasn't changed his game over the years. He's been a selfish athlete. He hasn't did what he hasn't wanted to defend and do what it takes to win. So he probably deserves a ranking. But we gone.